Love in America is brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source.
The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for nearly 4 decades and is one of the largest family-owned jewelry stores in America.
We have the largest selection of white and fancy colored diamonds and gemstones you'll find anywhere.
We also have private areas for VIP viewings.
Only at the Gold and Diamond Source.
Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited. We are on the record.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarina Fazan and thank you so much for joining us. Another episode of Love in America, my favorite show, talking to couples about their journey to find love and being in love. My pleasure today to introduce Aimee and Mike Conley. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, let's build up the excitement a little bit. No, this is a very exciting day too, because tomorrow is your wedding anniversary, 11 years.
Yes.
Big day.
It is.
It's a big day, and they're so excited right now. So I met you guys for the first time when I did the Unlocking Tampa Bay show. I'm the proud host for Visit Tampa Bay, and we featured your business,
Yes.
Urban Kai, which is paddleboarding business. But you started the business after you got engaged.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yes. That was first move.
Okay, so Mike, let's actually start there before we backtrack on how you guys met, because Aimee said, hey, before we start the business, I want the ring, right?
No,
Not at all.
He did make it sound like that, though.
No.
Okay, now we've loosened them up.
No, it was basically, I proposed to her and then decided, okay, we both talked and we're like, let's, think about starting this. And I think that's when we took it seriously as a business, and actually we realized that there was a demand for it, and that's how it kind of went from there. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about your business more, and I would encourage people to watch that Unlocking Tampa Bay show to learn more about Urban Kai.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so fun. It's a paddleboarding business, and so much more, of course. But now let's talk about how you guys met. It was so random, wasn't it, Aimee?
It was, yes.
So you start the story.
Oh, I had just moved here, and one of my previous business partners had a friend that I knew nobody. So.
And where did you move from? You moved from the East Coast?
From New Jersey.
Okay,
yeah,
from New Jersey.
Yeah. And so he just suggested I go out with her, and I went to the mall with her, and she said, hey, I want to learn how to shoot after this. So my trainer's shooting with his friends, so do you want to come with me? And I said, sure, why not?
And you have to share, though, your friend at the mall is wearing high heels, right?
She was just kind of like you are now. And I had just moved from New Jersey, so I'm in sneakers and shorts, because that's how you go to the mall there.
You're like, oh, these Florida people.
Yeah, exactly.
So she goes, you want to go?
Right, and I said, okay. I have gone shooting before, but it's not something I normally do. But I thought it could be kind of fun to see her dressed like that trying to shoot a gun for the first time. But anyway, it was funny. So Mike was there with his buddy, and that's who we were meeting. So we actually joked that we met in a shooting range, even though that's not something we normally do.
Such a random activity, a random encounter.
Yeah.
So Mike, when you first see Aimee, what are you thinking?
It was interesting because my client at the time, who was the one that was with her, my friend that we were meeting, she immediately ran up and befriended him, and Aimee was standing there, and it was kind of this awkward, hi, nice to meet you, like, and have you ever shot a gun before? It was probably 2 really good questions to ask before you go, and we're both really not into shooting that that much, and we ended up, one of my coworker / good friend ended up getting a firearm, was like, hey, let's go to the shooting range, I want to shoot this. And so my client at the time ended up overhearing that, and that's how we ended up at the shooting range. And it was just random that after the shooting range we ended up separating. My friend lived in Brandon, so he took a different route, and my client lived pretty close to me, and she's like, well, why don't you just get a ride with us back to South Tampa? And at that point realized that, wow, we actually live like 4 blocks away from each other.
Wow. Okay, so at this point though, like, are you like, I want to ask her out on a date?
Yeah, at that point, I don't know. It was one of those that was just like, what are you doing tonight? You know, like let's get together. And it ended up there was a party going on that same night, and so we were like, you guys want to come out? And so that's ended up being like kind of our first get together, and we ended up going to this party together. And that we were basically just friends, just getting to know her, So that was kind of how it worked out.
But Aimee, pick it up from there, because you were friends for quite a while because you were not ready to date, right?
Right. I was working a lot, and it was a big transition moving here and running my own business. So I wasn't actively looking to date right then.
Well, I know the story a little bit because we did the other show. Because from what I understand, though, you go to this party, and he's like, okay, like, let's start dating. And you basically were, how did you put it, Mike?
Oh, it was actually a couple times after that, like hanging out and basically getting to know her and be like, hey, well, you interested in dating? And it was always just, no, I don't think so, I'm not ready. And then, it always ended like, okay, let's hang out, watch a movie, whatever. And then she's like, okay, now you need to go home. 4 blocks, bye. And so that's basically how it unfolded. And it was just like the persistence of, just being like, hey, why?
He was really persistent.
So.
They say when a guy knows what he wants, a guy knows what he wants. I'm just saying. Clearly.
It was
right?
interesting because I remember going out and I had been on previous dates and just asking people like, what do you want out of life? And like, that was kind of always a question. And just to hear answers, or just the superficial side of it, or materialistic side of it, or just, and to talk to her the first date we went on, it was like, well, I want to be successful in what I do, and I'm very driven, and I'm not here to be, taken care of. I want to, I have goals of my own, and if you're ready to get on this ride, then get on this ride. If not, get off.
Wow.
It's just like, wow. Wow. This is very different than what I've heard in previous dates. Like, this is very different. Like, so that's
this was
basically.
So many years ago. I'm trying to remember my younger self.
I love it. Okay, but let me ask you before I ask you a question, Aimee. So during this time of friendship, how many months is it? It's what, 8 months? Something
it's like November to April.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
During this time, though, so since she's basically kicking you to the curb, I say that so gently, like you're a friend. Did you go out on other dates during that period of time?
Not really. I don't think we did. I mean,
I don't think I did. I had absolutely no time. I mean, I was really busy.
After that wasn't like, I guess it was, I mean, I was working quite a bit too, so it was kind of one of those things that, I was pursuing her, and then if that didn't happen, it wasn't like, I wasn't dating multiple people at the same time.
Isn't that adorable, though? He's pursuing you, and is like so focused and persistent. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what finally changed your mind?
No, that's a good question. I mean, I was traveling to Europe a bit too and coming back, and he was always so kind and fun. And I was always attracted to him. We had, mutual attraction too. So it was just, I don't know the really turning point. It was just like all of a sudden I realized I really, really liked him and did not want to lose him. And it just it's kind of like,
there was definitely a breakup in there involved. Yes,
there was. Because there was like.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay,
you can't forget that and leave that out.
What happened? What happened?
I went to Europe. Oh, my dog got really, really sick. She was poisoned, and she was I absolutely was like. My dog Sarah and I were inseparable, and she was poisoned by something. So it was very tragic for me and dreading. I flew back from a show I was doing in Italy, like really fast, and I didn't tell him I had come back into town, and so he was really upset about that. Because it was Valentine's Day too. It all happened that same weekend. Yeah, now I'm remembering.
See, people like on this show, we start opening up and we start remembering things. Okay, so prior to, you guys were dating though. So prior to leaving.
We were dating, but we weren't as serious as he had wanted to be, because I just couldn't have that commitment right there when I was doing so much stuff.
So she comes back on Valentine's Day.
Doesn't
and
call me.
don't-
Doesn't.
Oh my God. Okay.
And you got to tell her too. We ran into each other.
Oh, yes. I
We
went
were-
out with another friend of mine who I was
And-
just friends with. And yeah, we ran into each
Wait,
other.
a girl or a guy?
A guy.
Oh,
But it was just my friend.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So
So to him, it looked like I was like back with
So I was like, wait, what? You came back and you don't tell me and you're out with another guy. I was like, oh, this is an awkward moment.
Oh my. Okay. So Mike, what were you like? Right? Were you like feeling devastated?
I didn't know, like, I mean, at the time, I don't know, I just kind of like didn't know how to deal with it. But then I was out with a couple friends too, and like my friends had seen all the stuff that I'd gone through, and one of my friends just like walked right up to her and just laid into her and told her how he felt and walked out. And yeah, it was definitely a interesting moment. And at that point, I think that was probably the turning point within a few days of that to where
No,
she,
it was almost it was like a month that we didn't talk.
yeah, oh wow.
Yeah.
So his friend comes up to you and basically chews you out.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how are you feeling?
Well, I felt badly because I wasn't, this is so many years ago though. This was what, how many, 14 years ago almost? Yeah. This was a while ago.
See, but this is what led you guys together. So a month, so you guys like break up basically, and then who do you go? Like, how did you guys get back?
Oh, we
together?
ran into each other again because
Yeah.
remember we're neighbors, right?
Yes, only 4 blocks away. Right, 4 blocks.
And then I asked him what he was doing. It was actually Easter, and I didn't have any plans because again I was down here by myself. So he said he didn't have any plans, so we went out. And he basically said it either has to be serious or we're not dating again. And so I said okay.
Oh my God, that is so sweet.
Oh, that sounds so funny. That is it.
Crazy.
Okay, so
That's how it works.
you basically laid down the law and you said, listen, I have liked you for so long and this is the way it's going to be. Either we're dating or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how long did that continue until the big proposal?
Oh,
It was probably 2 years.
2 years, I think. Probably a year and a half to 2 years. I knew in my mind I'd set like a timeline of when I wanted to, like, if it was still going on and take it serious and wasn't going to propose to her. So it was kind of like, I didn't want to be that guy who was like, waiting 4 years, 5 years. And, it's like,
Yeah.
and so that basically, I knew that it had to happen on a beach. That was like one of my requirements that I had said I'm going to propose to her on a beach somewhere because we're both just beach people and we love to be out in the water and
Water
ocean.
people,
Yeah,
surfing and everything like that.
outside.
Yeah.
So were you surprised when he proposed?
I wasn't totally. It was really sweet. He set it up as a surprise. So I didn't know he was going to do it when he did it, but I knew we were talking about getting engaged. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how did you do it, Mike?
So I basically had a friend that had a beach condo out on Reddington Beach and basically borrowed his beach condo for the weekend. And I knew that I wanted to propose on a beach, but the timing of it was like it was cold. I never will forget that. It was definitely
February and it was like
February
like a
and it was cold.
It was really
and
cold.
which made it really nice because there wasn't like an audience of people out there. Just like, but I'll never forget that I was like walking along and was like, okay, it's got to happen. But I was shivering, and I was like, all right, this is the moment. And yeah, that's just basically how I dropped one knee on the beach and went for it, and then basically came back to my friend's condo and just had a celebration and just kind of hung out with her. And it was nice tonight. It was fun.
The next day I was meeting a bunch of friends to do a half marathon at Disney. So I was like, I have to run it and do this, like race now.
And it was one of those cold Disney marathons.
It was
in the
really
30s
cold.
in Orlando.
It was
and we were
really
just,
cold.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget. Just how cold. Because I was just like, I really want to do this on the beach, but God, man, it's freezing out.
I know in February here it can be either beautiful or it can be very cold,
Yeah.
for sure. But you guys got engaged. Now hold that thought because we're going to go to a commercial break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll talk about the wedding and more about Urban Kai and how that came about. All right, everybody,
Okay.
stay with us.
Thinking about getting engaged, planning to upgrade your wedding ring, or finally getting that Rolex?
The Gold and Diamond Source can help you in many ways.
You can start a layaway plan for only 10% down and 6 monthly payments.
Take advantage of our 3 to 5 year interest-free financing.
Or you can trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase.
Come to the Gold and Diamond Source and find that perfect gift for the ones that you love.
Gems with Them is our way to teach you about the birthstones, anniversary stones, and what these various gemstones represent. Emerald is a rich, enchanting green and May's birthstone and the 35th anniversary stone. Emeralds are one of the most treasured gemstones and bring a sense of clarity, renewal, and rejuvenation. Its verdant and glossy glow makes them perfect for this time of year. To learn more about gemstones, come in and see our wonderful selection for yourself or visit us online at goldendiamond.com.
Hi guys, welcome back to Love in America. I'm here with Aimee and Mike Conley, and during the commercial break, Aimee said, I'm not used to talking about myself. This is very interesting, and I'm still stuck on the whole Valentine's Day thing when she comes back into town, doesn't tell Mike, and I know it was, you were dealing with trauma and, with your dog.
Right.
But I can just imagine Mike like walking down the street seeing you with another guy, like, oh my gosh, okay.
What's really going on?
And it wasn't even like it was a friend of mine, so this is like...
It all worked out, though. He did
Yeah.
propose to you on the beach. That's what we were talking about. And then it was really cold, but you had a half marathon the very next day.
Yes.
Wow. So you get engaged, and that's commitment. I commend you. I commend you.
Yeah.
So, because, I don't know. For me, the champagne may have been flowing too much. You have the commitment of running in a marathon. I'm very proud of you. So how long after the engagement did you guys get married?
We got engaged in February, and the next April.
You got married.
Yeah. So it was like,
And by the way, if you missed it earlier in the show, tomorrow is their 11-year wedding anniversary. So congratulations on that.
thank you.
Big 11.
Big
Yes.
11. Okay, so during that time, is that when you guys started your business?
Yes.
Tell us about your business and how, for the two of you, it's just so perfect because you both are so adventuresome and, love the water. You can start sharing, Aimee, since we got to get you,
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Well, I had finished another business venture that I did, and I was kind of at a transition. We're trying to decide what to do, and Mike was getting a bit bored with his job at the time, too. So
Phil mentioned you have another full-time job.
Well, that's okay, but this is a different thing. So we kind of we had both started paddleboarding, and we really enjoyed it, and so many people wanted to do it. And so Mike was incorporating it in his athletic training. He's training athletes, has a crossover, we're getting for a fitness crossover, which is great fun. And we like to surf too, so it got us out on a board in the bay, which was kind of making up a little bit of that missing the surf. Because Mike's from California, so he really misses the surf too. So since so many people were interested, this is before you saw paddle boards everywhere, and they would ask, where can we do it? Where can we try it? And we realized there was a need in the market for it, and it was something we really enjoyed doing. So we decided to start off with a small business.
I love hearing this. So your passion, your love for paddleboarding turned into a very successful business. We shared earlier in the show, I'm also the host for Unlocking Tampa Bay, and we featured Urban Kai in one of the shows. So did you have, because Mike keeps on referring to, you also have a full-time job.
Right.
What is your other full-time job?
I'm vice president of marketing and sales for an international company that we manufacture products mainly for picture framing. We have worldwide distribution, and also in the sign industry. So
I'm just like, oh, she's only the vice president of sales and marketing for a worldwide company. That's it.
Just very humbly stated by her. Some days I don't know if I would like to see inside her head. I'm like waiting for the smoke to come out of her ears. Definitely it gets to, there's a...
the
she juggles a
crossover is
lot.
I know a bit about business, because my background and my schooling and what I've done, and then bringing in the passion and Mike's talent in regards to being able to be a really good athlete for paddleboarding and other things. So combining everything together and us understanding what each of our responsibilities are, that's kind of what our formula for success has been.
Because what is it like to also, have a business with, and you are married?
Yeah, there's points where you almost have to set time aside and make time for ourselves personally, because it's hard with we work a lot, so it's we're always on the go, and so you have to basically say we allocate this time to ourselves and to hang out and spend time with each other. So that's kind of a big thing. You have to we try to really schedule that at least even if it's once a month, just to get together and hey, let's go out and do breakfast and go for a paddle or something along those lines.
It's kind of funny. We love to paddleboard, so when we're doing stuff off, like my sister's like, "You guys are going paddleboarding?" Like,
It's like your business is the paddleboard. But that's so sweet. And I think that honestly, that you guys bring up a really good point, because it is very important to spend quality time together to remember, and to share those moments. This show, as I always tell the audience, is unedited and unscripted. But this question I actually asked before the show. What about children? I mean, do you, and to share your thoughts on kids, because you guys are so busy, and I would love to hear your thoughts on children.
Well, it wasn't something we were opposed to, but it didn't happen naturally for us, so we just are okay with that. Our lives are so full. We have a lot of family, and so that's where we are right now.
You have 10 nephews. There's one niece thrown in the mix somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Aimee, share though, when you said, when you moved here, it seemed like to you from the East Coast that everybody basically got married and had kids, right?
Kids.
But in the East Coast, you didn't see that as much.
Well, more in the city areas, like New York and Boston. There's a lot of couples that's not their track. They aren't like, we're getting married and having children. So here I feel like it seems like a lot of the people around us all the time, they're very focused on family and having children, and that's their complete focus in life. While we're just a bit different than a lot of people around us because of that. So it is a little bit of an adjustment sometimes, because that's all that others like to talk about is their kids and all the sport they're in and things like that, which we love, children, and we have a kids camp in the summertime.
It's amazing.
That's why I tell Aimee we got our kids fixed from our kids camp. And we've run a kids camp for 7 years.
Yeah.
7 years we put a kids camp on for stand-up paddling. So, and it's really cool now to see these kids that we took out 7 years ago that are now becoming counselors for us in the camp, or they've come back and I see them as a full-grown young man, and I'm just like, this is awesome, and they come up and give me a big hug, and I'm just like, you got me into the water sports, I absolutely love it, this is so cool, and like, so it's things like that I say, like, we've definitely had
along with the
quite a few kids in the program.
And showing them the appreciation for the bay and keeping things clean, and why it's so important to pay attention to that. So we like to educate them that way too.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. I mean, I want to get my daughter involved in those camps because she loves the water, very athletic. No, I think it's great. Did you feel, when you were talking about Aimee though, does that add pressure to a couple when everybody's always talking about kids?
It actually, I don't feel like it has to.
It's interesting talking to people, because once people realize like our life, they're like, wow, I could see your life is pretty crazy and time for kids. And people always look at me and they come into the shop and they're like, you guys don't have kids, do you? And I'm like, no. And I always make the joke, like, Irvin Kai's our child, because, there's no way. There's not enough hours in a day sometimes, I feel like. And so it's
well, from what we see, how other people commit themselves to their children the way that you'd want to.
Yeah, so. No, but you guys are amazing, and you do give back so much, and you have kids around you all the time,
Yeah.
So, as we wrap up the show, if I was to ask your guys' advice, or I love asking this question, what advice would you give to other couples out there who are hoping to have a relationship? What do you think makes a successful marriage?
That's a good question. Do you want to answer that?
Actually liking your spouse.
Having things in common?
Yes, yeah, being friends, and the respect that you have for respecting each other on all levels. So and just enjoying time. I mean, we are probably together more than most couples, maybe, because we work together also, if you think about all the time that you work. But I don't know.
If you have a business together, choose your battles wisely. Strengths and weaknesses. That's one thing I think we're good at. We're very balanced. She does things that I can't do, and but it's one of those things that I think it works well because we'll step back, from the understanding that you have your business hat on sometimes, and we have a relationship. We go home at the end of the night, and it's try to just sometimes you'll even hear me like, no shop talk. Let's talk about how's your day going? How are you doing? It's just, so it's one of those things I think that really helps make the communication is definitely a key for sure.
Yeah, I love that. So at times, no talking about work.
Correct.
Yeah, especially because we have a business together, so we're always, that's a big part of it. It's just,
it's tough to do that.
It's very tough.
To say, okay, we're not talking. You have to stop yourself.
No, I can only imagine, right? Because that's your life. We spend so many of our, hours at work. You think about it when you were talking about what you said makes a successful marriage is the friendship and liking your partner. So those months that you really did get to know each other as friends, in the long run, right? It worked out so well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And okay, so last question. So you both would say you believe in true love?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. Did you hear that, guys? They believe in true love. No, because I told you guys before the show, one of the many reasons I love this show so much, I always feel at the end of the show, if people out there are watching and they may not believe in love or feel, or it's not going to happen for them, I feel like after the show, there is true love out there.
Right.
Yeah,
definitely.
Happy anniversary to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on. I so appreciate it. I'd like to say to the audience, too, if you have a couple you would like to recommend for Love in America, or you want to be on Dating in America, please reach out to us. We also have another show, On the Record, where we do a lot of community topics. Please reach out. Send an email to the team. You can share this show on multiple social media platforms, and you can watch it on multiple social media platforms. I've had way too much coffee today, including Roku. But thanks so much for watching again, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and happy anniversary again.
Thanks so much.
And that's it.
Emerald is a rich, enchanting green, May's birthstone, and the 35th anniversary stone. Emeralds have always been one of the most treasured gemstones and bring a sense of clarity, renewal, and rejuvenation. Come see our wonderful selection or visit us online at goldendiamond.com.